All right, here we go. Show number 23 of Into the Cubieverse, and we are live.
The Cubieverse is a GPS-based game where you walk to get keys, use keys to open trivia vaults, answer trivia to earn rewards, and use those rewards to enhance your in-game experience or convert them into real-life rewards. Thank you for joining us this evening, and get ready as we take you into the Cubieverse.
All
Good
right,
evening, electronics. How are you this evening? And would you like to introduce our guest?
absolutely. Hey, I'm doing great. Strassi's here. First, I want to comment that Lionheart isn't able to make it tonight. He is preparing for his trip, as some of you guys may know. But hey, we've got a guest, probably a long-term, very famous player. We got WrWilm, or Will, as we know. So thanks for joining us tonight, Will. Why don't you tell us about how your week in the Cubieverse is and what you've been up to?
Sure. Well, thanks for having me. It's an honor to be called famous in the community, even though I feel like the last few, even months of my gameplay have been very filthy casual, as I like to call it. I do enough to finish Adventure Road each month, but overall, it's pretty much just that. And part of that has been over the last few months, I've been in the process of moving from, well, I mean, one location in southwestern Ontario to another. If I say cities, people aren't going to know where I'm talking about anyway. But I'm in the. If you see the name Adhamnon, and I apologize because I don't know how to pronounce that properly.
That sounds like
Um,
I do.
but our master builder in Ontario, I'm in his neighborhood now, and
Oh,
it is incredible to see what has been built up in St. Catharines, Ontario.
Oh, really?
that's fantastic to hear.
That's
Yeah,
awesome. I
it's
knew
it's
I knew he
Lucky
was there, but he's got a lot of other players there as well building stuff.
there's definitely a couple. I think a lot of it is just him,
Okay.
but yeah, there's like I can from where I live now, I can walk to sort of the St. Catharines Loop within 15-20 minutes, and then there's a good I want to say 8 or 9 green vaults that just sort of outline where you walk. Like just walk from one green vault to the next one, and then there's trade shacks, other vaults. Um, he's got a sushi quest in the middle of that. Like it's a pretty nice walk in
Yeah,
terms
it's
of
not like
gameplay.
a great show.
Right on. And are you then going to start building yourself in the area? Because I know that where you were, I don't think you built much in there, which was initially that was a
I
surprise, but I guess we
yeah,
found out why.
I have yet to build anything. When building was like as more and more structures were getting rolled out, I knew I was going to be moving, so I started a new job this past April. And so I knew I was moving, and I figured I'm the only person who plays within like a 20-25 minute drive of where I live. There's no reason for me to build up this area and then not be able to use it myself at all,
Yeah,
because I'm now like a 2.5 hour, 3 hour drive from it. So I'm just gonna continue to build resource stacks, wait, bide my time, and now that I've moved, I've looked into how much I need for certain things, and I am not ready. So
oh,
I still need to build up some chromatic paint. I still need to build up some resin. I've got decent stacks of them, but it's
yeah,
going to be
yeah.
another month and a half before I start putting my roots down.
Okay.
Gotcha. Because when you build, you want to build everything to make sure you get another.
Oh, I like when I speculated that your stacks got to be pretty stacked.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
So,
there was like I had a lot of resin. Like I want to say 5.6, 5.7 million coming into Cubieverse, but
okay.
the very first month I dropped 1 million in each of the Ontario cranes. So I hit London, I hit Kitchener, I hit Mississauga, Toronto, and
Oh,
Hamilton.
wow.
And that's the only reason I have Nailgun Kelly
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
is because that first month no one could build enough to outdo 5 cranes. I think I
No, right.
placed eighth, and that's pretty much all I did. Because again, I have not built a single structure on my own,
Right. Okay.
of my own, I should say.
That's a little good strategy tip there as well.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone has the opportunity anymore
No,
within a reasonable distance to hit that many cranes that aren't already built. But
no,
it
not
for
right now,
What?
but
the very
it's
first
well,
month, as soon as things went live, it was like a mad
yeah.
dash to make sure I could hit all 5 of them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like when we were
Well, you
in,
deserve it then. Like
so go ahead.
I just said, he deserves it. You deserve
Yeah.
it then.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
I had thoughts on doing exactly that, but I want to say most of those cranes were filled by the time I was like ready to go, right? Like
Oh, yeah.
I had thoughts of going and doing that, but I was going to wait till the weekend or whatever happened to be, and then I hear, okay, all those cranes are filled. So we got the local one in London, but could
Yeah,
not, could not
I'm pretty sure
go.
the one in Toronto, um, like I had a few people messaging me saying like, "Hey, I've put this much in this crane." Just like in Ontario, like, I'm part of probably 5 or 6 different Discord servers, just for communities in Ontario.
Yeah,
And like I was messaging people like, "Hey, what's the status of this crane? Where are we at?" And I think of the like the Toronto one, I'm pretty sure I put 82 through 92 in terms of the puck counter.
yeah,
Okay.
But that one was cutting it close. Everything else, I think I was 10 of the first, or yeah, 10 of the first 50.
Okay.
okay,
So I mean, yeah, it was a lot of resin, but
Yeah.
I knew because I wasn't planning on building anytime soon. That was the only way I was going to get that Cubie, and
yeah,
I wanted it.
Yeah.
yeah,
So I went all in.
Yeah. Yeah.
for sure.
There you go.
And we're
That,
happy that you did get that because I know you were in London. You showed that QB around a bunch of different
oh
places,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
whole bunch of builds. So we appreciated
I
that for
yeah,
sure.
I mean, I guess for context as to anyone who doesn't know, like my connection to you guys is, I'm from London. You guys, that's like sort of the major area for the server that you guys joined. And I started that server on Discord way back when, and have since left it in Atrocity's hands.
Thank you very
Nice.
Um,
much.
since I moved a couple of weeks ago, and
Hmm.
yeah, so we share hunting grounds, or shared hunting grounds, for quite a while, and I was definitely, anytime I was in town and could leave Nailgun Kelly or any of my other builders, in all the structures that you guys were building, I was happy to contribute to that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and
Thank you very much for that, by the way.
for sure. And to add to your story, it turns out that we work probably 300 meters from each other in an industrial
Oh
Yeah.
park.
yeah,
And that park got a couple people got playing in there, and that park got built out with, I think there's probably 12 or so vaults got placed in that area. So we'd be out hunting, and we just ran into you one day, and we're like, "Hey, looks like
yeah.
you're out hunting here." And
Yeah.
I remember standing in the lobby of where I was working back then, and a couple of my coworkers said, "Yeah, there's this guy that keeps sort of walking through our parking lot. Like, do you have any idea why someone would do that?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
"I have a pretty good idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
If he's walking, or if someone's coming in and doing a quick U-turn, I can imagine what they'd be doing."
Yeah.
right
Uh,
on. Yeah. So, yeah, and you got to wonder how many times, not just in your location, but other locations where there's vaults that are just, um, just off the beaten path or just can't reach from the
yeah.
street or whatnot that people just walk a couple steps into that are are noticed like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, even sorry, go ahead.
Like I said, we've driven into some pretty sketchy areas to get a few vaults that were a blue vault that's 300 meters into a in the industrial zone. We'll go in there and get it,
yeah,
and we're just always looking around like, bet you we look kind of sus to anybody around.
Oh yeah, I
yeah,
mean, as long as you're not trespassing or anything.
yeah,
No, exactly right. It's
Even
open for
Yeah, even on the path I walk in St. Catharines every now and then, it's like a couple of those green belts are. It's not, even if you were a passenger in a vehicle, um, you couldn't necessarily get it from the road, and you'd need to
right.
go it like further into a parking lot.
Yeah.
or like take I don't know 10 15 steps off the sidewalk if you're coming by. Which I mean, it happens. The tags are where the tags are. There's only so much you
Yeah.
can do about that.
Yeah. I would like to see them in some cases just increase um, the radius that you can get them, especially on like user vaults that have been placed on buildings because the tag is located in the middle of the building. So um, it would be nice to be able to get an extra 5 meters or so so you didn't have to walk right up to the edge of the building or whatnot sometimes. So
Yeah,
um,
particularly with those bigger ones. I mean, print shops are great for that in that you can hit them from a lot further out.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if those were strictly in the middle of, for us, like Canadian Tire and Walmart, and you couldn't hit them during non business hours, then
Right.
that would really really suck. So I'm glad those are bigger, but it definitely would be nice, even for sushi or pizza or any of the things that you have to stay for a certain amount of time. I'm sure when you guys talk to Lionheart next week or whenever you guys get a chance to talk about the Toronto meetup, we definitely had a few issues with just GPS and whatnot
Oh, yeah.
because downtown Toronto, your signal is not exactly the like pinpoint accurate. So it'd be really nice if they could expand the radius for where you're allowed to be for those.
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, yeah, that would make a lot of sense, especially like as you said, like in Toronto or downtown metropolitan areas in general, where you've got a lot of buildings and whatnot, where you could not the accuracy isn't as good. Because I definitely noticed sometimes some boats were walking along, and you can get them from the sidewalk on some days or most days, and then some days you got to walk up towards close to the front door in locations. So. Right, and obviously, likewise, Vegas during the the event, the kickoff event of the Coin Hunt Fest. Terrible, terrible service. I remember that time, and then in
Oh
and
yeah,
out of casinos and all other stuff. So that was a lot of
there
fun.
were a few times where I had to like it wasn't even a restart the app thing. Like I had to restart my phone a few times in
Oh,
Vegas, and it was very frustrating. But I mean, there's only so much they can do about that. I understand that it's an issue, but there's also
yeah.
like they don't necessarily have the power over where the signal cuts in and out,
Oh,
right?
exactly.
Oh, for sure, for sure. So, but just increasing it a little bit might solve some of those issues. The one thing though, I don't know if you've noticed, but recently what they have done is um, I know a couple times where I was going along, my I got the buzz that I hit my walking goal in the back, and then the game froze on me when I was in while I was answering the question. The first time I noticed it, it happened other times, and anyways, the game froze. I had to restart the game, and when I started the game, my box showed up,
Oh,
um,
really? Yeah.
which in the past that box would have been walking goal box would have been gone. So
Yeah.
um, I've noticed since the last patch or so that where they've started buzzing more often. There's a couple times where I think in the past I would have lost the box, but it's been there. So that I really appreciated. It's
So
been a
is
really
that
good
are
change.
you saying that you've experienced that only when it's buzzed for a walking goal during answering a question?
And not only that was the first time I noticed it, where it was very dramatic, whereby like I knew the box had shown up, I hadn't seen it yet, but the game froze on me. And I know in other times that has happened and it's froze up and the box is just long gone, right? So
So it shows up at your HQ or
no, it logged in the game as over my guy's head,
oh, awesome.
over the
Yeah,
cube's
that's
head.
something that I think a lot of people have been asking
Oh,
for
yeah.
some sort of like grace period with
Huh.
that
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who hasn't lost a key box from a walking goal?
at some
yeah,
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. And
Oh,
I
that's
know
really
there's
good.
other times whereby in the past, like we've been um, out doing a walk, come back to the house, get close to the house, and the box pops up. but at the same time you get close to the house and it kicks out, and my
Oh,
my Wi-Fi house router Wi-Fi kicks in, and
Oh,
and I've lost boxes that way too, which is the most frustrating because like,
yeah.
oh, why did I go? But that's happened to me recently, and the box has been able there when it kicked over. I haven't lost the box, so
I have
um,
religiously turned off Wi-Fi if I'm specifically going out to play the game.
yeah,
Before I
Yep.
leave the house, Wi-Fi goes off before I start the game up.
Same
It's a
here.
habit at
yeah,
this point. You almost
and
have to, or else stuff like that happens.
and I tend to do that too. But it seems like after it's been off for a certain period of time, at least on my phone, it turns itself back on, where it
Yeah.
will
Mine
re-enable.
doesn't do that. Bunch of O'Brien's, my wife, hers does do that every single time. We're either going, when we're walking around her work block or walking around our neighborhood.
Yeah,
After we're gone for like 20, 25 minutes, if we come back near the headquarters again or near our home, her Wi-Fi will try to reconnect every single time. Mine doesn't do that. Hers does though.
yeah,
And she's lost boxes that way as well.
yeah. And in her case, there's two buildings on that site that
Yeah.
from the company, and they have the same Wi-Fi. So halfway
Yep.
through the walk, it's trying to turn herself on, which you got to be careful of. So, um, anyways, the fact they put that hopefully fix in is really a good thing. So
Yeah, that's a great fix.
appreciating that. So, but you guys haven't noticed that yourselves, then, obviously.
No,
No,
I
I
my
haven't had
phone
that.
doesn't do that. So, and I think I lost a key box once 4 or 5 months ago, or no, I mean a year and a half ago, and I've religiously made sure that I'm not in a position for that to happen again.
Yeah, the only time
So
it's
I
ever
have,
happened to me was a level 7 walking quest, and ever since then I've just been super, super
yep,
on it every single time.
yeah,
Yeah. No, and normally like same thing. I'm paranoid about losing them, and as soon as they pop up, boom. But there's been
yeah,
times where I'm like, oh, I didn't realize I was that close when I got back home and it's popped over or whatnot.
right.
So, but is definitely there have been times this last month where it's like, oh, I'm gonna lose this, and it was there. And as I said, the first time, like it froze, the phone was froze up. I know it popped, but the box was there when I turned the phone back on. So that was freaking awesome. So
Oh,
great
that's
job on
great
for
to hear.
Titanium to fix that for sure. So cool. Yeah. So so you are obviously are backed off a bit in the game. Are you feeling like now that you're getting set up in the new location, got some builds going on, are you gonna perhaps be a bit more active or
Definitely. Um, Not like top of the leaderboards, hunting every single day, doing every single walking quest, but because I am close enough that I can walk to a route that has a whole bunch of stuff on it, I definitely want to start doing that, both in terms of exercise and just getting back into the community. So you'll see me every now and then at the beginning of the month. I'll be up near the top, but yeah, I mean, so honestly, the first 2 days because of the Canada Day event for July,
yeah,
I was up there. I did all the walking quests the first 2 days, and then I sort of realized that this past weekend, the past 3 days, I've had company over to
yeah,
spend the entire weekend, and I'm like, well, I can't
Yeah,
just ditch them for 2 hours each day to go out and
I
do
was
walking
walking.
for a
Yeah.
mobile game.
right,
So I mean, it sort of I definitely knew, okay, I'm not going hard this month, but I will be going out specifically to collect on as much chromatic paint as I can in preparation for building in either August or September.
Nice.
yeah. I
Seems
had
like
uh, I had intentions of start of the month to maybe make a leaderboard run, but after that first day, I saw you were sitting there at the top of the boards and a lot of other people I think that must have been the Toronto event sitting at the top of the boards. All of Ontario was sitting there at the top of the world. I'm like, this might not be the month to do that. There might be a little too much competition going
It's
on. So
tough when there's an event on the first couple days of a month.
Yeah.
Because
yeah,
like there was a large group of us in Toronto that hit the yellow, hit multiple greens, hit probably, if I had to guess, I'd say 12 to 15 trade shacks.
Wow.
Did at least like some of us did a sushi quest, a pizza quest. Like it was a long. I think we were out there for like 4.5, 5 hours. Um,
yeah,
Obviously we took breaks to eat and stuff,
Right.
but like Raichu's there, sort of leading the way. Sort of gave us direction in terms of where everything, or like an efficient route to hit a whole bunch of stuff. But yeah, it's a lot to sort of see a group of people. Okay, well, these people have really put in the work. They're at the top of the leaderboard. If they keep going, yeah, it's hard to compete.
yeah.
But I think a lot of us have sort of dropped off over the past week.
All right. And did you guys take the subway in Toronto while you were on the event there? And if
Not during the event,
okay,
but to get, so like a bunch of us met up at the east end of Danforth. It's sort of the same spot that if anyone in southwestern Ontario did the Halloween event with us in Toronto, that we met up there and sort of spawned all the cauldrons out of that parking lot. But we like that parking lot has a ton of parking, is close enough to a subway stop that we just took that downtown, met up at the fountain, and then did the event and then took the subway back.
all right. Were you able to, in the subway? Were you able to actually access vaults? And was that like an efficient way to do that, or
No.
no? Okay,
Streetcar, maybe. In fact, streetcar, yes. It was very useful. But in the subway, like because you're underground, unless you have absolutely amazing cell reception,
right.
um, maybe every 3 to 4 stops, it would sort of readjust to where you were. But subway, no. Streetcar, most of the time, yeah. Like we did take the streetcar some of the ways back to get to the subway. And I mean, I was talking to Lionheart. We were having a conversation. I'm still looking down at my phone, hitting every vault I can.
Right on. Yeah, it sounds like that was a good fun event or so that they put on. Because did I hear there was like 50 people or so there?
Yeah, I mean, there were about 50 people that signed up that checked in at the kiosk, but I think there was close, just under 30 that were actually like walking around as a group.
Wow.
Okay.
So met up with a ton of new people right at the beginning. Raichu sort of gathered us all. We took a couple pictures. We all introduced each other, which was really cool. Just like hearing where everyone was from. Some people from a little further away than others. Um, Couple folks from Colorado,
Oh, wow.
which I'm sure if they're able to join you when Lionheart talks about the event either next week or whenever, I'm sure they might want to join as well and talk about their experience with it. But yeah, it was a big group. We stuck together for probably the first 2.5 to 3 hours, everyone, and then sort of petered off into different smaller groups to explore different parts of the city.
Wow. Wow. So
Oh,
that's almost more than the number of people that went to the official one in Scottsdale. Because it was just
Wait,
under
it was
50.
it was that smaller group in Scottsdale?
It was like yeah, there's like 50 people I think at the
Oh,
end
okay.
that signed up for Scottsdale. So having 50 people at the Toronto event makes me think there's going to be a hell of a lot more um, in September.
Oh
So
yeah. No, I definitely plan on going to that.
yeah,
I've already booked the Friday off work.
awesome.
But absolutely, I think most of southwestern Ontario will be making an effort. If they can't make the whole event, they're going to at least try and come down for a day
I
because
think so too.
there's a lot to do. There's going to be. I don't know what Scottsdale was like because I wasn't there
Yeah.
exactly, but
Do you have any
it's
FOMO about
going to be a fun
not?
time.
Do you have any FOMO about not going to Scottsdale and getting the cubies there, given that you've been
I
there for everything
absolutely do
else?
have FOMO, but because of I like what was the date of it? It was like mid March, right? Or
Uh,
mid May?
Mid-May, like
Yeah.
18th,
So
19th, 20th or so.
I was
Yeah.
5 weeks into a new job,
Yeah.
and I didn't feel comfortable saying, "Hey, I gotta take like 2 days off, bookending a weekend, because I'm gonna go south into
Play
the
the game.
states, play
Yeah.
a game."
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
one of the things you say when you get hired, is you say, "Yeah, listen,
Yeah.
I already got this booked, so you got to give me this
Yeah.
if you really want me." So
I definitely thought about it. I'm not gonna say I didn't want to try to make it work, but I was staying with a friend at the time because I didn't have my place set up here yet. And
yeah,
it would have been too stressful for me to try and handle that at the
Right.
time.
no, I'm sure that I say that's a responsible decision for sure. So I was just having some fun. So, but yeah, the one in Toronto should be good, and we're having that obviously because a lot of people from Toronto went there to Scottsdale to represent to get us there. But it sounds like it'll be even bigger um, in Toronto then. So
I
for
sure hope
sure,
so. I think there's definitely a larger crowd of locals who will be able
Right.
to really hype the event up.
yeah, for sure. What did you guys think of the Canada Day event in general this year? Obviously, it changed a bit from previous years. Um,
I think the biggest change I noticed was the fact that the resources only drop from I guess I want to say blue vaults, but I guess the
Yes.
lighthouses.
Yeah.
Comparing it to past years, I don't know if it was the same last year, but I know the first few times it was run, it was just you could get them from a ton of different vaults. Like
Right.
I think 2 years ago, actually 2 years ago, did we even have white vaults?
No.
no,
So yeah, it was every blue
Yeah.
vault, but blue
Yeah.
vaults were like the lowest level at that time.
Exactly.
yes,
So it was like you could farm those resources. You could get
Yeah.
thousands of them. So I think it's a bit rougher for anyone coming up from the States just for the Canada event, because to get enough you can or theoretically, depending on the city you choose, you can get enough resources, no problem, to get one print, assuming you get the blueprint to drop, which is
Right.
relatively easy. But if you are looking to sort of farm all of those resources for a couple days, it's a bit trickier than it was a couple years ago.
Exactly.
yeah.
Which I don't know if that's for better or worse.
I so I like the fact that like the uh, the blue vaults turned into the lighthouse, which I assume was Peggy's Cove Lighthouse. That's where that came from. I thought it was really cool. At one point, we had we were driving along and it had like 4 or 5 different lighthouses on my screen, and they're all circling. It was kind of a cool experience. I imagine the one in the States with the fireworks would have looked pretty impressive as well, having the blue vaults all shooting fireworks and whatnot. So I thought that was kind of a neat change. I did like the fact though that they were dropping in batches of 100 versus I think previously it might have been 25 or so, and like the hockey sticks and the footballs were um, a lot harder to come by in the past. I think like the drop rates got changed that I felt like I was getting a lot of hockey sticks, which was uh, I was happy with.
I didn't get a single hockey stick this year. Mind you, I didn't hunt religiously, but the first day I just did a couple lighthouses. So the second day I hit a lot more maple syrup the whole time.
Really?
Wow,
Really? Yep.
Uh,
interesting.
yeah. I felt that I had balanced much more balanced out, but obviously maybe I was getting better RNG than.
I feel like my rates were very balanced, considering I have almost exactly double maple syrup than hockey sticks
Okay.
right now, which is nice.
Yeah, I don't have a single hockey stick in my inventory anymore. I used my last ones a few months ago when we had to print a Canada QB for the Adventure Road daily
Yeah.
task. I printed my last one and I have nothing left now.
Really? And
You
you
need to
didn't
buy
get
some.
any.
I've got about 5,000 hockey sticks.
Keep it going. I don't know what they're
Exactly.
going for, but I'll be buying some.
I'm sure there's
I
still
don't think.
some in the auction house.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Now's the time
But
to get
anyway,
them.
did you guys have any other specific questions for me? Because we're at
I know
half
you
past
gotta
right now,
go.
and I gotta get going in a minute.
No, no, that's
Um,
David. I'm good. I don't have any specific questions. Atrocities.
I'm just got a final question. I'm going to throw it to you here. What's your thoughts on the change in the daily challenges and whatnot, given that?
What change are you talking about?
Well, they seem like obviously they're easier. They've mixed them up a bit. Like they used to have to get 50. Now you got 35. They've
Oh,
changed up
okay.
the various
So like over the last
challenges.
few months, not like
Yeah.
super
Yeah,
recently.
yeah.
No, like kind of from before when you're more active, I guess, till now. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah. For the most part, I feel like it's like on average it's better. There are definitely still a couple that feel like they pop up more often than they probably should if it's completely RNG. It is obviously I'm biased, but it is very annoying to see print a specific QB that only say 50 people had access to get the
Yeah,
blueprint for.
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, I think it's reasonable or somewhat reasonable to wear those QBs, but I think
Yeah,
having to print the event exclusive ones where it's that limited is it kind of sucks to see those.
it's frustrating.
Um, and I mean, it would be nice to see over time as they continue to add questions into the question bank if they could keep adding even slight variations, like instead of it always being 2 perfect, 3 perfect, 5 perfect, like maybe make the medium either 3 or 4. Like
Right.
some days it's 3, some days it's 4, just those slight variations so it doesn't feel like it's the same thing over and over.
That's good.
Yeah, I
That's a
like
good
that.
idea.
So I know this will never happen, but it would also be nice if it was like if you have to hit 6 white user vaults, if a blue user vault counted for white. Like if you hit the higher level ones for the lower
Right.
level tasks, because if you're alone in an area and you're building up your user vaults, you can only have 5. So
Right.
you have to depend on another person to have built in your area for 6 white user vaults.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
So I
And
know that's wishful thinking. I know there's probably arguments against that, but that's a thought that's crossed my mind a few times when I've seen those challenges come up.
I never had that thought just because like we've got a lot of white user vaults, but not having not thought that wait, as an individual, you can't get 5 user vaults. That that's a very valid
You
valid
you
point.
get
Yeah,
you
So
get the reset in the morning, so you can hit them twice
that's true. I
as
didn't think
long as you
again.
have enough.
As I said, there's
But
arguments against it.
no,
right.
no, we cannot get the white user vault task here in Dorchester. We have white user vaults right now because we've upgraded the blue vault. We
Yeah,
could build more, but that's still gonna take a while. But anytime they come up, even with the reset, we still can't hit it.
yeah. And if you set yourself up, like if you set a certain area up with 6, then
Yeah,
if that area is going to remain at 6, then you can't upgrade them.
exactly. Right. So
So
I like what you're
it's rough
saying.
sometimes.
Yeah, it is. And a green vault would be worth 3 or just another one as
Oh no,
well.
I wasn't even thinking
I
it'd
know,
be worth more, but like even if
I
you
know
could
it,
hit
but
green
it would
user vaults
count.
for white, yeah, it'd
Yeah,
be nice if the higher level ones counted for the lower.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
No,
So more
I
like any user vault.
Not necessarily any.
it should
Okay,
be
I
like
guess
it
you're,
should
yeah,
almost be
yeah,
like
frozen.
I,
yeah,
But
like white or blue user
people
vaults as
are
opposed to
higher.
just
People
white.
yeah,
are higher than that.
yeah,
Just
So
exactly.
correct.
I do like that because likewise, we've got a bunch of white user vaults that were in the area, making it easy. But then some of them got upgraded to blues or whatever, and suddenly it's like, oh, there's not enough whites close by, so we got to go finding more. But cool, yeah. Anyways, I know you got to go, so thank you very
Yeah.
much for coming on the show
Thank
and,
you.
and
Thank
talking
you.
to
Thank
us
you.
and
Yeah,
giving your
thank
thoughts.
you for
That's
having me. It's
great.
great to see you guys continuing on the content creator tradition of just people talking about the game on a weekly basis. It's
Yeah.
great to see.
Awesome. Well, hey,
Anyway,
hopefully we'll see you. We'll see you at the event in September, and come back anytime you feel.
Cool. Thanks for having
All
me.
right.
I'll talk to you guys
Thank you.
later.
bye.
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 Well,
All right.
there you go. Everybody. the infamous WrWilm. Willem, whatever you call him, he's the mainstay in the game, and we're glad to have him on. So,
Yeah,
Frosty,
totally.
how was your week?
How's my week in the Cubieverse?
Yeah,
Which we skipped over, obviously the focus on
I'm
William because
glad
we
we
knew
did. Yeah.
we got for sure. So I'm gonna say that I did not have any sushi this past week. Um,
Oh,
yeah, I couldn't work it into couldn't work it in any sushi meals, so that's unfortunate because I was really liking leveling up my cubies with those and trying to get a knife because now I do have the blueprint. I'm more inclined to try for the knife
right.
so I can get the master sushi. One thing I did do though is I was leveling up a couple of cubies. I do want to get them to 10, but they were in level 8 and I got them to the end of level 8 before level 9 and I stopped just short of level 9
Good.
and got moved on to my next couple so that this past was yesterday I think or day before when it was like, hey, uh, you need to level up 3 cubies, 3 levels.
Yep.
I was able
Yep.
to just pull those 3 out, pop those over from 8 to 9, and now I'm working on to get them
Oh,
from
there you go.
9 to 10, which is kind of different because in the past I was just keeping working them up and then getting them to short of
Yeah.
10. But then I thought, hey, wait a second, why don't I take the same sort of approach on these other ones that I'm working on? I'm not really
Always thinking.
in any rush to get these ones to 10.
Right.
Obviously, the ones I want to get into 10 are the ones that I want to throw into user vaults or trade shacks or whatnot.
Yep.
But these other ones are just wanting to level them in general. So since I'm under no rush, I'm just kind of pushing them up that way. So
Nice.
it's a
That's a
little
good
tip
idea.
for gives you that much more opportunities for when those level up the QB options show up
Right.
because what I actually the reason I thought about it was like, well, if I can't, because my plan was obviously to move the 9s to 10s at some point, but I'm thinking, well, if I need more, um, then I want to go to sushi, like use a sushi quest, but
Right.
um, you know, if I've already done the sushi quest when this comes up, it's not available to me, then I just need more. So,
Okay.
anyways, throw that out. What about you? How was your week?
It was good. Finally had a successful buddy quest.
Hey,
Yeah, that was good. It's been a while waiting for me, but still in the craziest spots. They've been popping up around here. You would not consider them walkable. Like you have to right down the main highway, Elgin Road.
yeah,
Yeah, like Highway 73. Like there's no sidewalks, no walking. I have to drive to them. It's supposed to be a walking game, so I put my bug reports in. One of them has stopped
okay,
spawning, which was good because it was in the middle of nowhere on like dangerous walking highways, gravel roads. It was interesting.
yeah.
That's
Well,
good.
I'm glad. I was just
Built a new white user vault finally. I
well,
just
that's
I
good.
just cut the ribbon on that today.
So is that
That's good.
your third user vault? You were talking about white user vault now in your area, or
Yes,
um,
that's
that's
our third in town.
so that'll give you the option to get 6 now again.
Yes. Yeah, but I can't build up to a blue yet. I got to find more places, which brings me back to needing to add more tags that are around our town and sorely lacking.
Well, hey, we did that episode in
Yep.
regards to how to add tags, so refer
Yeah.
back to that one if you haven't,
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
or is it just a matter of finding the time to do it?
That's basically it right now. And making sure I get them in the right spot.
Yeah, I
You
hear you.
know.
I know there's a few I want to add, a couple pizza places and whatnot. Um,
Right.
so I know I need to sit down and do that as well for sure.
Yeah, we have new buildings going up in Dorchester, so it'll be interesting to see what comes out there. Rumor is we're getting a No Frills, and a McDonald's.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no official signs yet or anything. Does kind of take away from the small town feeling, but at the same time, we're a growing town and we're thriving. So it's nice to see some more business, more job opportunities for the youth, everything come in like that. And it should help the game grow as well.
For sure, because I know McDonald's always seem to get a tag on them, so make sure you get that tagged in the
No,
game
for
when it
sure.
comes in, for sure. Um, yeah. Did you end up taking advantage of the Crystal Key sale that was on for last week or so?
No, I did not. I just convert my crystal keys every week right now, and I'm happy with that.
Mhm.
Did you?
I was going to. I had intentions of doing it, and then I went to do it, and I'm like, oh, it's over because
Oh, huh.
I'm a last minute type of guy. So
Yeah.
I
Huh.
I, I
Same
went
here.
to do it. I think it was yesterday after the respawn, and I'm like, oh, it's over now. So I did not, but I was definitely thinking about doing it because I do want to get Machine Gun Kelly, and which means I need to plan a month to do builds, like some big builds, and
Right,
I don't currently have enough crystal keys in order to hit those targets yet.
right. Okay.
So fingers
Well, there you
crossed.
go.
Maybe I'll have
Yeah,
to buy them at regular prices, or I can just wait till the next sale happens. We'll see.
and it'll happen. We'll see how it works
So,
out.
because like at the current cash out rate of my crystal keys, I'm not um, it's gonna be a while before I get what I'm looking for because I'm obviously spending on
Right.
half of what I get on Adventure Road every month. So
Yeah, that's true.
for sure. So speaking of Adventure Road,
Yes.
I wanted to throw this on my screen here, and I had some. I want to talk about some things on Adventure Road. So
Sure.
first
Whatever
things
you
first.
put up, I cannot see. As a reminder.
So you can click. You should be able to click on the window in. Can you not
Mm. Oh,
in
this is
Discord?
the first time it's worked.
Okay,
I've been. I can see something in there. Huh.
that's
Oh, is that the
last
headquarters?
that's last month's headquarters.
Okay.
Um, and I thought, hey, what's your thoughts on last month's headquarters in the fishbowl?
It's cool. It's something totally different. I like that. And I haven't put it on yet. I still like my modern house. I leave it on that. So
Yeah.
honestly, that when I saw the pictures that we were in Discord earlier when we were setting up for the show, that was my first time seeing it. I thought, oh, that's
Okay.
different.
I like the fishbowl. It's got some water
Yep.
bubbles coming out with movement. I was
Yeah.
um really though, I would have loved the scene. I would have loved to see a actual fish floating around the fishbowl. Or a fish
Yeah.
cube or a fish cube. It might even a fish cube, I don't know. But um that was the one thing I was like, ah, really been cool to see a fish in there. So
It would have
um
been. Maybe once we get a fish QB, then we can have fish QB going home, right?
yeah, for sure. So
That'd be
um
cool.
anyway, so I'm thinking maybe we start doing a thing like this where we look at the headquarters that have shown up for the month in Adventure
Oh,
Road and
that's a
give
good
it a
idea.
rating Um, so I know I'm throwing this one on you, but
You are
I'm gonna give this one an 8 out of 10 this month. Um,
8 out of 10.
eight
Okay.
out of 10 is a baseline. I would have
Hmm.
given it probably if there's a fish floating in it, I would have probably given it 10 out of 10. But with no fish, I'm at an 8.
Well, I'm a pretty simple guy. I like thinking of the other ones, and I'm a modern house guy. It just simply looks the way it's supposed to on my block. So I'm gonna give it a 7. The fishbowl.
Okay.
I haven't, like I said, I haven't put it on yet, So my rating could be higher once I actually get a good look at it.
Okay. Yeah, I usually put on a new one every month, the newest one, and
Yep, that makes
rotate
sense.
through them. So I haven't got the new one for July just yet, but next month we can talk about that. But yeah, I thought this one was
Yeah,
pretty cool, but I would have
it is.
loved to seen I would have loved to seen a fish in it.
Yeah,
So
yeah, oh, for sure. That would have been a cool idea.
okay, so next thing here is the display case for this month here of July. I unlocked that one already. And
Yeah,
since it was Canada Day, I populated it with all my Canadian Mounties in there. So it's a
and the
four,
Canadian guys.
all right, four, four spot. This one's called Art Deco. I
Yeah,
thought it was, I thought it was kind of cool.
it
Um,
is.
I do like this one. Um, I wish there would be an easier way to see these because you really got to go hunting
Yeah,
to see what other people have out on them. Um,
right,
so that's my only thing. I'll say drawback with these display cases is it's really hard to see what people have
right.
in a display case. But um, you know, I'm gonna give this one. I like it. I also give this one an 8 this month. So
Okay. I really like this one. I like the way it's stacked and just the way it's presented. I'm gonna give it an 8.5.
all right, okay, I'm liking that. Okay, next thing here, Adventure Road. So this is this month's Adventure Road. Um,
Yeah,
so at the top of it here, I'll just look at the top of the Adventure Road. Um, and obviously there's a pirate kiwi, which I can't see yet. Um,
yeah,
my comment on the Adventure Road here, where I kind of thought I'd bring this one up here, is um, 200 like 250 chromatic plus another 500 750 chromatic. At this point, I think
yeah.
it's kind of disappointing, given that chromatic paint is so much available out there at this point.
If you have
I'm
blue
not
balls. So
right.
I'm gonna just jump in for a second there because I still think it's great to have all the base paints presented every month, right? So I know what you're saying. It's for some of
Right.
us who hunt a lot, or people who hunt a lot, it seems like overkill. But some people still don't have access to a lot of blue balls.
Mm, true. True. Then I don't know.
So I see where you're coming from, but I
Yeah.
see it from the other side as well.
No, to your point, yeah, having all the colors in there, I think is probably a good thing. But just in that case, placing it so high,
Yes, that I agree with.
maybe it should be a bit lower. I don't know.
Yeah,
And then the other thing I'm going to say that they've changed recently that I don't like is the blue key boxes have come back. I don't know your thoughts on Lamar, um, but you know, having the blue key boxes take up a spot where, it's a random where I could end up with like 16 keys, I 8 and 8 out of both of them.
yeah,
Um, you know, I'd almost prefer in that case, I prefer the chromatic paint over
right.
the blue key boxes. I don't know what your thoughts on those are.
I like the mystery box, the key box, blue key boxes. I liked
Yeah,
having them come back. It's a nice something. It's one of the few Adventure Road things I look forward to getting back to my headquarters so I can open them right away.
oh yeah, okay.
It's just, I don't know. I usually make out pretty well on them though, much to a bunch of O'Brien's chagrin.
And
He was
maybe
like,
that's a
I got, pardon?
right on. I said, and maybe
Yeah,
that's the thing, right? Where if I was getting guaranteed like I think for either 8, 10, 12, was it 12 was available option? I don't recall. If I was guaranteed more than 10 out of each box, I'd probably be happy with it. But getting like having the
right.
option of getting 8 and 8, I'm I just feel like
Yeah,
disappointed every time
no, that makes
that's happened.
sense.
So, but
Yeah,
I
there
do.
should be an incentive for getting them when they're, especially when they're up higher like that, right?
Right. I mean, I know back in the day when they would pop and you get like a 50 blue key box, I was excited.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but you know, 8 keys is kind of disappointing, right? So, um,
And,
for sure. All right. So the next thing I brought up here was, where am I going? I was just carrying this down on the adventure road option, but I'm gonna skip past that because I think it killed the adventure road. Um, this is the pirate cubie from the top of the adventure road in June. Um, the lookout pirate cubie.
nice.
Um, what do you think of this one?
I have to be honest, I hadn't even seen it yet.
This is last
I
month, so you did get last
Yeah,
month's
I
cubie,
know.
right? Yeah,
I got it last month, but I haven't even looked at it.
yeah,
I've been It's been a hectic couple weeks around here, and I hadn't looked at it too closely, so I haven't even put them on yet.
yeah. And like I enjoy the pirate theme cubies. I think they're
Yeah,
cool, but similar to what you just said, um, I don't equip them because there's no point in leveling them, in my opinion.
right. Yeah,
So, um, so it's which is kind of disappointing because of the way the game's changed,
yep,
whereby there's no, in my opinion, like any of these are cubies. I'm not wearing even the ones I got in Scottsdale, the I think it was Franz, the party one. I think I've looked at that. I put
yeah.
it on once, maybe once or twice, but I'm not using it to out hunt because I don't need to level it, right? So,
No, there's no
um,
incentive right now, and
yeah,
they should. It'd be nice to see an incentive introduced, right?
yeah,
Like an effect that they add to any vault that you put them on or something.
yeah. If there's something in the game that way, there's a way to do it. That'd be cool. Or even if you can say, hey, like here's a QB I'm wearing, but actually I want it to level up this other QB,
Yeah,
right? Somehow pair them so that
I
I'm
understand what you're saying. Yeah. That would be really super cool, but kind of defeats part of the purpose of the wearing it to upgrade it, right? Defer the
true.
points, though. Yeah, that'd be nice if
Right,
you could defer the points.
but maybe some of these, I say more these specialized QBs would have that option that
Yeah,
way. I'm
yeah,
thinking not
that's right. So
not
you
all
could wear
QBs,
them. Oh, that's a great idea.
right?
Wearing like one of the special QBs, and because of that, you've unlocked this feature that you can transfer the
Right?
experience to someone else
Yeah,
or something.
that that would be my thought on that. So,
That'd be
um,
cool. Yeah,
anyways,
I'm down with
but
that.
I thought this QB was good. I liked it. So,
Yeah,
but as I said, I haven't really had an opportunity or reason um, to equip it. So.
right.
So yeah. So anyways, those are the things that I brought up because I wanted to um discuss those.
Well, and for me, what I wanted to discuss was the building up of white vaults and blue vaults in the neighborhood for the adventure roads and stuff. And we ended up talking about it already. So those were my concerns. I was looking to talk about tonight, get your opinion on. So
Yeah, good. Well, that came out nicely then,
yeah,
for
I
sure.
love it when a plan comes together, right?
Definitely, definitely. All right, so it is about 5 minutes before 9. I don't know if you got anything else you want to add at this point.
No, just I wish everyone watching, happy hunting in the Cubieverse.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Happy hunting. Please like, subscribe, and do all that YouTube stuff. Comment. Please as well get your Buddy Quest um, recommendations in for the
Yeah,
for our loot code
of course,
uh, options. We don't have enough people in this week yet to do another spin, so please get those in for the Buddy Quest shout out so we can do another one. We want to have at least 6 people for the spins, and we are short, so please keep continuing to do that. Um, Hopefully, we'll have Lionheart back next week, and we can discuss the Canadian Canada Day group hunting in more effect and more rubber.
Yeah.
And finally, thanks once again to Will for coming on and talking to us and coming back. So we appreciate it. And likewise, everyone that has joined us live here, we appreciate that as well. And till then, um, thanks a lot, and happy hunting in the Cubieverse. All right, and that another one is done.